Hi everybody, welcome back. We're up on the mountain again. Last week we finished off by tamping down all of the backfill here behind the second floor foundation structure. We're going to pour a slab on top of this where I'm standing. It's going to be a 40 centimeter thick slab, so it'll essentially bury those two levels of rebar that you see there. So today the plan was to come up here and lay in the final layer of gravel, just maybe this much gravel, just to fill in the low spots and create an even more level surface. But this coming week is all rain. Monday to Friday is all rain. So we're thinking we just want to leave it and let 5 days of rain soak through this. And there's weeping tile underneath, so there's an outlet for moisture to escape from this box. So we let it rain for 5 days and see if that helps to compact it. We come back for one final compacting session with the gravel, and then we're ready for rebar and concrete. Look down the line here. We're almost 30 centimeters from the line. We can actually push this wall back, 10 centimeters almost. According to this line right here, we should be 15 and 15, right? So that means the front of the wall is way out here. The back of the wall is right here. But we don't want the back of the wall here. We want the back of the wall up against the rock. It has to be just like that one. It has to be every 20 centimeters from there. Today we have two tasks only. We're going to drill holes in the two side walls, the east and west wall, to take the 13 mil rebar. That's the half-inch rebar, this stuff that is going to create the east-west part of the web of rebar that will be within the slab here. So we've got about 22 holes on each side to drill, and I'm using a 16 mil bit so that I can take the 13 mil rebar, put it in, give it enough space for the epoxy also to get in there. Of course, before I put the epoxy in, I'm going to come back and wire brush it, blow it out so it's clean, no dust, and then when we get the rebar up here and we're ready for that 13 mil rebar, we squirt in the epoxy, we set it in place, and then we walk away for 24 hours, I guess. the same? This is the Japanese equivalent of a PB&J, peanut butter and jam sandwich. It's a rice ball, it's called, but it's a rice triangle actually, usually. And we have inside the rice ball, Amy made these this morning, we've got fresh cooked rice, and then inside there's some filling usually. I think we've got mayonnaise and tuna? Tuna and mayonnaise filling in one of them. And then you wrap it with seaweed, dried seaweed, so you get a crunchy outside and you get a soft and flavorful inside.
I think it's boiling.
There we go, finally. Finally.
To the mud, ne? Up to the mud.
Boom. Yours doesn't have a mark. Oh, it does. There you go. All right. You know, we're in February and we are all over the map weather-wise. You know, last week on Saturday we were up here blowing smoke rings with our, warm breath in the cold air. Monday I was up here in my short sleeves and no problem. Yesterday we were up here completely bundled up as well. You know, really our hands were freezing. It was cold and we went home grumbling and miserable. And today I'm up here and I'm about to take off layers because it is warm. You gotta love the changing seasons. I do. Call it the luck of the Irish, if I were Irish. I drilled 22 holes and did not hit a single piece of rebar. That's fantastic. Knock on wood. There are hunters down on the road. We passed a truck on the way up with 3 dogs in it. We stopped to chat very briefly and B saw the dogs and they all started yapping to each other, so now B can't get the hunting dogs out of her mind. And they're baying around the, around the neighborhood, and she's hearing it and responding. B, where are you? Oh, there. Okay. So as always, Anna's done a great job of organizing and cleaning up. We've had a few buckets full of stuff sitting out here for the last month or two, filling up with rain, getting rusty, so we're drying out some things and moving them out of the way so we can get to work on this first floor slab. Also today, because we don't have any other major task besides the drilling of the holes for the rebar, we're probably going to organize the shed and get that cleaned out and because there's going to be a lot of big activity coming up soon, so we'll get the shed cleaned up and organized. Yesterday, because we left early, I had a half a day to myself, so I spent it at the computer organizing the task list that we expect to follow in order to pour the second floor slab and the first floor slab. Let me show you what I've got. So I've got a list of tasks for our second floor slab. I'm going to kind of ignore the wall construction for the moment, but we start the list with drilling the holes, which I've done today. And then, after the rains finish next week, we hope, we lay, level, and compact the gravel. Then we lay the plastic vapor barrier, which I've already purchased. We bend back the 16 mil rebar that you've seen there standing vertical, but we only bend the lower level first so that we can still move around. Then we lay the front back rebar. This is I've been calling it front back, the north-south rebar that will extend from the wall into the mountain. And we only lay the lower level. And then once we've tied that 16 mil front back rebar in place, we lay a layer of east-west rebar of 13 mil rebar over top of it. And that creates the first web, and this will be the lowest level of rebar for that upper slab. Okay? And then with the 13 mil rebar, one key thing in addition to tying it to the 16 mil is epoxying in each end of it to the holes that we've drilled in the wall. They're 6 meter lengths of 13 mil rebar. We need 2 of them to give us 11 meters with about 1 meter of overlap. Okay, after we set them in epoxy, then we pause for 24 hours. We walk away, we leave that lower level of rebar to harden and set. Okay, then we come back. Okay, I've just laid it in the above tasks and we tie it together now. Tie the 13 mil to the 16 mil, creating the web itself. Then we bend down the upper level of 16 mil rebar stubs that are standing vertical. And then we lay the upper level of 16 mil front back rebar. Okay, that's the upper level only. And then over top of it, we lay the 13 mil. We epoxy in each end of it and we tie it. And then, after we wait another 24 hours for that upper level epoxy to dry, we are ready for concrete. The thing is here, we don't have the concrete scheduled yet, and we haven't finished the first floor preparation. So this web of rebar that's going to be ready on the second floor now has to sit for several weeks, or at least a couple of weeks, until we finish off the first floor preparation. So we've got strong pollen warnings on our weather report, and actually as soon as Amy and I stepped out of the house this morning, both of us recognized that, yeah, we're going to have pollen allergies tonight. So Amy's got her mask on all day long, and she may be masked up for the next 2 months. But yeah, pollen is on the way, and we're in that season, so mask up, mask up. Okay, we have essentially emptied out the tiny house. We want to stack the wash basins and we want to fix these boxes. Ta-da! Check this out. Now, it may look a little crowded against this wall, but those are all tools that we will readily take out every day. Rebar bender coming up, steel cutter, two main tool kits, winch and rope, a hammer drill, and then everything else is in its place. Sorted out the wall, hung up some blocks and chains, repositioned the measuring and marking, cleaned up the workbench. And for Amy, we have a nice, accessible, clean, relaxing place. Okay, well, we didn't get a lot done on the foundation. We got a bunch of holes drilled, which is important. It didn't take a long time, and oh well. But we did get this place sorted and organized. You've seen the list. We're ready to make a order probably tomorrow for a rebar and all the supplies that we need for the slabs. Hopefully we'll get delivery by Thursday. And next weekend is another long weekend, 3-day long weekend. So we will be, hopefully, without rain. It's going to rain Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Definitely, 90% chance. But come Friday, with no rain, we'll be here with all of our supplies, and we'll motor on that slab preparation. Thanks for hanging around. See you soon.